And we are up just in time to see you putting your drink down. What do you got in there? Is that some
Uh,
eggnog?
Eggnog. No, no, no. Better than eggnog. It is juice or Rambina, which is like a fruit juice.
Interesting.
I, I, I don't
Every
have
time I hear
eggnog
someone
money.
say juice, whether it's someone else or it's me, it
Mm.
always makes me think of an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force with um, Willie Nelson, the onion monster that lives in the attic, who just wants juice.
So you just want all the juice.
Oh man, I didn't update the stills again at the bottom. So we got next week's scrolling across there. So
Oh.
I'm gonna fix that really quick. But how was your week? What have you been up to? How was your Christmas? Did you get anything good?
I got Blu-rays, and that was pretty much it. I didn't really kind of ask much for this year for Christmas because COVID and stuff. And to be fair,
Yeah.
all the stuff I want is out next year, so I'm more like, eh. But it was a nice Christmas. How about yours?
It was good. I mean, I don't really do the whole Christmas thing. Like that's just
Mm.
not, I grew up Jewish, so it was always Hanukkah, which always coincided with Christmas for the most part. But no, I hung around the house. My roommates and I got Chinese yesterday, and then did like a bit of a more traditional Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve
Mm.
night instead. But yeah, it was good. It was fun. I watched Wonder Woman 84 yesterday and Die Hard. Um,
Nice.
tried tried to watch um, The Long Kiss Goodnight, but I couldn't find it like actually streaming on any of the services, and
Mm.
they wanted either $4 to rent it or like $14 to buy it, and I just was like, it's not worth that much to me.
It's not if it's not in the bargain bin, I ain't bothering. If it's not a dollar, okay.
Like it's a good film, but I
Mm.
just not $14 for
Yeah.
watching it once.
When you're like, I'm not going to watch this ever again. Maybe once a year, maybe once every 8 years. When I go, oh, I have it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I own Die Hard, but
Yeah.
I found because like I recently finally got around to unpacking a lot of my stuff. I pulled out all of my old DVDs and Blu-rays and all that kind of crap and put them out because I'd sold most of them off. So I was like, I don't
Mm.
need physical media anymore. But now, obviously, wanting to watch The Longest Goodnight, that is a lie. But I found my box from Die Hard, but the disc wasn't in there. I was incredibly disappointed
Ah.
because Christmas Eve, our internet was down for like 9 hours. It didn't come back
Oh
until like
wow.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, so I was like, but it was fine. I what did I end up watching instead? The Never-Ending Story.
Oh, I've not seen that one for a very long time.
Right? Like I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I own this on Blu-ray. I'll give it a watch. It was it's a fun movie. Like that's one that I think they could reboot and it might end up being better than the original. Just because with
Mm.
all the technology now, like all the puppets and the animatronics and everything looked good, but I think now things could look a lot better.
You know what will happen though? Oh, we're rebooting this with CGI. I want puppets.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But I mean, they could do that too. Like
Mm.
they could use anima like if we've learned anything from the Mandalorian, it's that a combination of animatronics and CGI is possible
Mm.
and
That
possible
is
to do
true.
really well. I've also been playing Cyberpunk 2077 because I ended up just breaking down and buying it for my Xbox One. I was because I wanted to wait until I got like a PS5 or the
Mm.
Series X just so that I wasn't playing it on a last gen console. But the next gen conversion isn't coming out until sometime next year, so it doesn't really matter whether I had been
Mm.
able to get one anyway. Uh, and it's fun. I've only run into a few bugs. I haven't run into any like game breaking glitches other than it crashing on me a couple of times. But
Mm.
after the game crashed, I was able to load back up and get right in. Um, but only there was one mission that I went on where I had to talk to someone after I had done something, and it I had already talked to them, and it wasn't registering that I completed the mission, and it wasn't letting
Ah.
me talk to them again to finish it. But
Oh.
just loading the last save point, like after I completed the main objective, fixed it, so it was fine.
Did you get PS2 graphics?
Um, it's it looks okay. Like
Mm.
my roommate has it on his laptop, so I can see what the full PC version definitely looks a lot better. So I'm really looking forward to being able to play it on the next gen once I get because now that I'm locked into the Xbox with it, I have to get the Xbox One X so I can play the
Mm.
next gen version on there. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. It'll be a nice step up. Still looking at building up a new desktop. So I don't think I'm gonna buy it again, but
Mm.
I don't know. Who knows? You got it right.
No, I returned mine.
Yeah, oh, did you really?
um, there's a video of me playing it. Is those pictures I sent? So when you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
up
yeah.
to the bad guy, I got so frustrated on how bad the game was. I just went, do you know what? Uninstall this, wrap it back up, return it back to Amazon, and I just sent it on its way. I was just like, I'd rather spend money on something else. But I'm gonna when because they're patching the game, so it's I
Yeah.
think sometime in January and then February. So I'm gonna pick it up in February. I think maybe because then they'll at least turn around and say, "Hey, we fixed the majority of it." Like I could understand the bugs. Like I wouldn't have mind. I wouldn't have cared about the bugs because that would have made it more fun. But it was just the graphics that I was like, I can't deal with this. And then I'm gonna sneeze.
Oh,
Pardon me.
bless you.
But apparently there was the 8 meg file save thing that they've now
Yeah.
adjusted, which I thought was really bad.
Nope. I just froze for a second. Let me see. And all right, and you're back.
I don't know
Okay.
about.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's for me. It doesn't look any worse than any of the other games that I'm playing,
Mm,
so it's fine. Um, it could absolutely look better. I didn't run into that 8 meg problem with the saves on the Xbox, so that wasn't an issue. And the last patch that they put out did make it run a little bit faster.
mm,
Loading times are still absolute shit. Like it takes about 2 minutes after I flatline to come back into the game again.
yeah.
So that sucks. But other than that, I'm like whatever. It's still like doing the missions is fun. I've got the mantis arms, so I've got the blades coming on my arms now. I can just like
Oh,
hack the shit out of people, and it's a good time. I don't
that's
know.
cool. I'm gonna do the Trank one hit kill thing that you can get.
Nice.
So, but I have to look into that. But I'll do it February time. That's gonna be me.
I don't know if there's anything else coming out really soon that I'm actually really interested in.
Mm.
There's I mean that's Starfield, the new Blizzard IP looks interesting,
I've not seen that.
but that's probably not going to come out for like another 2 years, so
Mm.
I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about this episode of Star Trek Discovery. By now, all of the different publicity images that they put out have run across the bottom there, so we've seen kind of everything that's going on. Um, we finally got to the burn,
Yep.
sort of. What do you think about how this all came together?
Okay, so first of all, this is one episode that scared the crap out of me. Um,
Really?
yeah, it's just the at the very end where they put that device on him.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That scared me on a whole different level. I was just like, and they've got this sort of technology. Okay, cool. Um, the way they did the burn though, like I really wanted it to be something more than a scream. Like
Yeah.
I just like out of all the stuff that we've seen in Star Trek, we've had pulsars and nebulas, supernovas, we've had rogue comets, we've got Q, we've got massive beings. To put it down to, oh, a kid screamed. I was like, why would you?
Yeah, I'm we'll have to see how it plays out,
Mm,
but the fact that I mean we kind of skipped over everything else in this episode, but yeah, the fact that it's this kid who like basically he's the equivalent sort of River Song from
mm,
Doctor Who, where because she was born in the TARDIS and conceived in the TARDIS, she absorbed all of the time vortex energy and was able to regenerate like the Doctor did.
Mm.
In this, it's all of the radiation from the dilithium gave him dilithium breaking powers.
Yeah.
Like is I don't fully understand like what the actual like I understand what the end result is, but I don't understand the concept of how we got there.
Mm. Yeah, like I feel like they've done something different and they've gone right. We can use this, but I think it could have been something like I don't know, like it under extreme pressure. Like I don't know, he's hurt, like he's really screaming in pain. Not I'm going to cry because I stubbed my toe. That's what got to me a little bit, and I was just like, I thought maybe that they did it, some science on some dilithium. Maybe, the story could have been something. We got some dilithium. We wanted to make it better for the new warp travel. We've got this new engine. It works perfectly. Oh no, we've missed some calculations, and that's created the burn. That would be thing. Or maybe the suit going back in time to do the burn. That would have been cool, but not a
Right.
screaming child. It's like what?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's no different than like the Incredible Hulk being irradiated with gamma rays and then growing to 7 times his own size and being giant and green and having crazy super strength. Because that I suppose is a similar thing, but
Mm,
maybe there's something more to this dilithium planet that we haven't found out yet.
yeah.
Like maybe somehow the subspace maybe the subspace radiation is like dilithium being almost like the mycelial network or something, and all
Mm,
dilithium in the universe is connected. And so this kid, through his being irradiated, is able to connect to that dilithium network.
maybe.
Maybe I don't.
Uh, I think
I don't
if
know.
if they explained it like that, I would have been like, "Do you know what, that's fine." And they explain it in the next episode, I'd be like, okay, you've given it some thought. But if it's just like not like a throwaway line, but if they gloss over it, like, so how did this kid hologram program 89,000? How did this happen? And they're like, we don't know. I'd be like, oh God, oh dear God, no. Um, it's just kind of weird, and also I think because this is like going out there, like if you've got a starship out there, the Federation would have known, and it felt like they could have gone back to pick it up and actually be like, oh right, I don't know. It feels like they've got this really good idea, and it's not executed very well, and it's kind of coming up to it, and it's like we just threw out something like someone just went, oh, I stubbed my toe, and that's the story for Discovery, bingo, and someone's gone like, what, me stubbing your toe? You crying out in pain, and that's it. Oh, just
I don't know. Really quick, Thomas Franco is in the chat. Hey there, Thomas. How you doing today? How was your Christmas? Hope you got some good stuff. Hope you got some good stuff for your birthday last week too. Let us know. But yeah, it was I don't know. It was just a weird thing. But jumping back to the beginning, really quick. They were having the memorial service for Giorgio, and
mm,
Gray reappeared to Adira, and like it was a good. I think it was a good moment. Like we didn't get any resolution on like really like everything from that, but Adira said something that was really bizarre to me because I've heard this before in like relationship drama type stuff. Is Gray said I didn't know how how I needed to be because I'm all alone. You're the only one that can see me. I can't interact with the world. You can. This was causing me like mental issues. Like I didn't know how to process how I'm supposed to be in this situation. And she replied to him, "You don't get to decide that for me." But I'm like, he was deciding that for him. Like
mm,
it affected her, and I understand, or it affected them, and I understand that. But at the same time, it was like he was trying to come to grips with what was going on with him. So it wasn't he wasn't making that decision for Adira. He was making that decision for Gray. So like I don't know. I feel like that's yeah, you were talking to me a while back about dealing with like some relationship issues. Like, does that is that a thing that you've run into before, where like you were making a decision for yourself, but your significant other like made it about them instead?
Yeah, like I think a lot of time, like in any relationship I've been in, like there will always be that sort of thing. But when someone says that, like, I'm taking a step back from me, for my mental health and such and that, and the other person's like, no, I will decide that. It's more that's major red flags in a type thing. So because I completely skipped over what Gray said, like, I generally keep thinking it's going to be that girl from Next Gen, the Dementia or the Flower Girl. But I find the whole thing fascinating because on her sort of way, she shouldn't be there in a way. Like Gray shouldn't be there because I know obviously it's different with Trill and human hybrids, but you never saw this with Trills. Like they never saw their past self unless they went through some sort of journey.
Right.
And I feel that maybe it might be a hurt thing. Like, you say it on some level, like, oh, I need to take a step back. I will decide that. It's more of a I'm lashing out to hurt you type thing, which we've all done that. Be like, oh, I want to go pick up a burger. No, I'm going to pick up some fries. But oh, great, okay, whatever. That was not the great analogy that I thought. That was just something that popped in my head. Um, but I think it's more she wanted to kind of take it like back, hurt that person. Like you've left me alone for such a long time. I've gone through this big change for you, but yet you had to take a step back. And I find that again that could be a red flag. And maybe it was something that they put in because again you don't really see it Gray ever again through that entire episode. I think.
Right. Yeah. It's I don't know, and I definitely understand where that's coming from, because if you're in a relationship with someone and they're like, I need to get away from this for a little bit, you're obviously going to be hurt unless you feel
Mm,
exactly the same way and you're on the same page. If that's not how you feel and you don't want to take that break, you're going to be upset about it. So
mm,
I get that. It's just one of those moments where you see, yeah, we've seen it in Star Trek, but you see that in a lot of like romantic comedies and just like regular drama TV shows. That it's just one of those things that it just kind of stood out to me. I'm like, it surprised me that we were getting that in a show that is trying to be inclusive. Like it just
mm.
seemed like a weird like line to have, because it's like Adira made it clear that they wanted everyone to respect the fact that they wanted to be called they or them instead of she or her. So like respecting other people and their boundaries seems like a thing
Mm.
that would have been handled a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, there's the element of hurt, but I do think it was more kind of like it shouldn't have been in there. Like you kind of think you've spent a bit of time going, oh hey, like I miss this person, I can't find it, I don't feel whole without them, and then they all pop up, and then you like get away from me type thing. Because if that was me, I'd just be like, well, I'm gonna go hide in your subconscious, bye,
Right,
and the rest
right,
of that
right.
will never come out.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, well, no, I do get to make that decision because it's my issue that I'm dealing with.
mm,
So I don't know, but
I think
it's I'm not shitting on the fact that they're tackling these subjects, just kind of the way that it was handled. If that makes sense.
yeah, like if they had a massive argument, like I mean, we're talking like massive row, then yeah, I could totally understand. But it's more, oh, I miss you. Oh, now you're back. Get away from me. That sort of thing. That just irritates me. Um, it feels like you're going to get in the next episode. Something will happen to Discovery. She'll get really kind of freaked out, and then suddenly she'll be popped back and be like, "Are you here?" And then it will be stuff like, "Oh, I've missed you so much." and that'll literally be it.
Well, I know from the credits, Gray is scheduled to appear in the next episode as well, um, and I'm assuming that we're going to find out that not necessarily whatever the caused the burn was related to how he is there, but I have a feeling he's going to provide some sort of insight into helping figure out this situation with Sokol. Sokol.
Think so, yeah.
Sokol.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope for one thing they don't do, because like when they've obviously all been captured and stuff, I really don't want it to be that they're all tied up or they have to stand by and Gray can wander the ship and then come back and be like, yeah, well, there's like 20 guards on the bridge, there's 13 in engineering, there's 4 in the shuttle bay, there's 1 on the toilet, and then be like, how do you know this?
Right. Yeah, it because in theory he should only be able to see the areas that Adira is able to see.
Exactly. If they put that in, I'm going to be like, there's fair enough that you can have some sort of thing with the trill, and then obviously you can then class it as a hybrid. But at the end of the day, if you can see as far as you can see, you can't see what's up like 5 decks above you or 5 decks below.
Right. Unless we find out that somehow the symbiont got irradiated with the same stuff that irradiated the kid.
Yeah, I think.
That would be like that would be a hard eye roll for me if that happens. Like that,
Yeah,
because that would just be like a really convenient way to fix that problem, or
yeah.
to explain how what's happening with Gray is happening. But if that's what happened, then it wouldn't just be Gray. Like I would think that it would be all of them. That like all the different personalities that would have popped out,
Yeah.
or be seen.
I,
Although that would be interesting too, because then that would almost be like have you seen Doom Patrol?
no, I've not.
It is so good. Like Doom Patrol right now, I think is my favorite DC TV show. It's on HBO Max. I know. Do you get HBO Max where you are?
We don't
You
get.
don't.
We
Okay.
don't get those cool programs, those cool channels.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't know if it's available anywhere else, but anyone who's watching who's in the States or anywhere that gets the HBO Max content, Doom Patrol is so good. One of the characters on there, Crazy Jane, she has like 64 different personalities that live within her, and she's able to go to what they call the underground, and she can talk to all of her different personalities, and then each one can pop out and take over the body at a different time, and each one of the personalities has a different set of superpowers that
That's pretty cool.
manifest when they take over the body. So that could be an interesting thing if Adira was able to talk to all the different personalities as like a council of
I mean,
of Tall or whatever.
if you're having a council of people like that, I think that's cool. Where it's like close your eyes, and then you can start talking to them. And the way that we see it would be, I don't know. It takes 10 minutes for it to be explained, but in the real world, in their time, it would be like a second. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Right.
If they literally can all walk around the ship, and it's just like send out the trills, I'll be like, what? It's just sloppy. It would be sloppy writing, and like I'm all for a bit of sloppy writing, but not to the point where I'm like, oh God's sake, why? But it's like, oh, we're going to send out the Klingon, we're going to send out this person. I'm like, no, don't just just stick with teleportation.
What else do we have here? We've got Saru, and Saru kind of reconnecting with the Kelpians, because this is the first, like, even though it wasn't a real Kelpian, well, the Elder wasn't a real Kelpian. This is the first time he's seen one since they've gotten to the future. This is also the first time he's seen one that wasn't restricted by being subjugated on Kaminar. So I thought that was interesting. I kind of wish we had gotten an episode where they had gone to Kaminar for something, so that he could see what they've become. Because one of the things that we learned is that the all-seeing eye, which was the tower that I can't remember the other race that was on the planet with the Kelpians. that were harvesting them.
Mm.
That was the tower that they built so that they could keep an eye on everything that was going on and control them. So that was really kind of cool to see how 900 years have changed something into a something that it wasn't originally, and that's I feel like that's a good parallel for how things exist in the real world too, because like if you think about it, things that we don't know how things were 1,000 years ago, like
Mm.
really how things were 1,000 years ago, because none of us were there to witness it. All we had is the writings and the books and like historical documents telling us how they were, and we know that once things are written down, it's not necessarily an accurate portrayal of how things actually were. So,
Yeah.
and that appears to be what happened with the all-seeing eye, is that it was taken from uh, a thing of subjugation to a piece of protection, which I thought was kind of cool.
Mm. I mean, yeah. I mean, it would have been cool to see because don't they mention that they're getting attacked or something? Um,
Yeah. So the Emerald Chain was trying to provoke Saru into bringing the Discovery to Kaminar because they wanted to take it, which ended up happening at this nebula. Um, which I also thought was interesting that the that Osira didn't try to figure out why they were there.
mm.
I don't.
Yeah. I think with the episode, like obviously, it. How did they get there so fast as well? That was another kind of point that they brought up. Um, but
Well,
yeah,
I think
it just
they have either they have dilithium, or Book had also mentioned that there were transwarp corridors that were around.
yes, that when they said that, I was like, Borg is still around, baby.
Yeah, it's funny. So I think I told you guys on Tuesday I interviewed Michael Dorn about a new movie that he's in
Mm.
called Agent Revelation, and I'm not I you'll be able to read reviews on the website and to decide for yourself whether or not you'll want to watch it. But it was interesting talking to him about where they were. Like once the interview goes up, we'll I'll cut out like the Star Trek stuff from it, and we'll be able to play it on here. But you know, like I asked him about like what he thought about this new age that they were in, what he thinks Klingons actually look like in the 32nd century, because that's also, we haven't seen any Klingons yet.
Mm.
And so I don't know. It's what they're showing in this series and what they're choosing not to show is very interesting.
Mm. I think maybe because they're focusing on quite a few things where because I've been watching a lot of Next Generation at the moment, where I mean I can't remember how many episodes were in say one season, but you had like I think they were able to kind of multitask with a lot, where Discovery has a set like thing. Here is the burn, or here is the burn, here is about the Federation, and here is about the Emerald Chain. So you've got three main storylines going on, and it's a continuation where Next Gen was like, well, here's the thing with the Romulans. Here's the thing with the Klingons. Here's the thing with Wesley Crusher. Here's the thing with Data. Here's the thing with Worf, where you can jump around so many episodes, but they're not a continuous thing where I can go and watch, like, say, the one that my favorite Worf episode is the one where he goes and jumps through time. So he has different realities, and
Right.
they've got to try and fix it. And I realized that everything that goes wrong with anyone next to Geordie, it's because of his damn visor. It's everything his visor. But I could watch that one, and then I could go back to the beginning of the season. I can watch that, where Discovery, you have this one timeline. So where I would have loved for them to say, right, this episode's all about the Klingons. We don't know what they look like. We don't know if they're still about. And then the next episode, Romulans, Burn, Saru, Michael, Neelix, just randomly.
I think I like I really enjoyed season two. I thought season two was paced really well. I think the storytelling in that season was really good. And I like where we are in season three. I just feel like so far anyway, the pacing could be better. Like I feel like they're not necessarily keeping up with doing a good job of spending the right amount of time on each of these interconnected stories. Because like
Mm.
Deep Space Nine, while it still sort of was episodic at some points, it was still like the later seasons were all serialized. Like you had to watch one episode to know what was going on in the
Mm.
next episode and the next episode and the next episode. And then that makes sense here for the type of storytelling that they're doing as well. I just wish they were devoting more time to certain things, like we were talking about last week with Terra Firma. That episode felt like it went on too long, and I feel like they could have cut now after seeing this episode. I feel like they could, if they had cut that down to just one episode or like an extra long single episode, they would have had more time to spend on what like how the Emerald Chain found them so quickly at this nebula, or what was going on down on the planet, or what was happening on Kaminar. Like that extra episode could have been like Saru going to Kaminar, like splitting up, sending one team to Kaminar so that Saru could oversee everything that was happening there or try and help, and then another team going to the nebula to kind of figure that out. Like I don't know, it's just weird how they're picking everything apart. Are you frozen or are you there? I think you're frozen.
Yeah. In case I'm a bit slow to reply, yeah, it keeps going in and out. So I get what you should be more. It should be more spaced out, and I feel like it's gotten to the point where they're rushing it, where you could have had like this whole the thing with the burn. It's a major big thing. Where I mean, how many episodes is Discovery this season? Is it something like 14, 15?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in those 15 episodes, you could have said, right, first of all, why don't we have dilithium? The burn, and then slowly drip feed stuff so you can do it. Like, the first thing is, if you're 900 years in the future, the thing is, you're going to want to look about. You're going to want to look at what's happened with the Romulans, what's happened with the Klingons. You know, are you able to get to the Delta Quadrant? Are you able to go, well, obviously they don't know it, but you're able to like look around, and it just feels like this has gone in like, right, we need to know what happens with the burn. That's the main focus. And then when they've moved across that and they've had other episodes, it's more kind of like we're not really focusing. Like, I mean, you had Unification 3, which was mainly more focused on Michael becoming a better person and learning more about it. But in this point now, it just feels like they want to get the burn story over with so quickly so they can move on. Like, you don't know much about the Emerald Chain. Like, I
Right.
would have loved to know more about that, but then they just kind of go like, oh, now we've got this main person who is an Orion female. I don't know if she's no longer a slave type thing, but like, how did she get to power? Because how did she work her way up? Did she do the whole thing with like Leia and just kill a giant big slug, or you know, where are these all these stories? Like, it feels like you've got a lot, but it feels like you don't. Like, I can remember one or two episodes of Discovery, but I like, you don't find out anything about it. It's just, let's get to the next storyline, and then if they do the burn in the next episode, what are they going to do for the rest of the thing? Is it start to build up the Federation, or are you just going to go on one or two more adventures for a big cliffhanger that's going to be about?
Yeah. I don't. I really don't know. What about Tilly? How did you feel about how Tilly handled being the captain?
I like Tilly. I think she handled it very well, and I like the sass. I just kind of think the last part before like Discovery was taken over, I think they should have just jumped, and I think that would have been more sassier, because then you got the Orion staying there, and Tilly then would have to make the decision of should we go back. That was the thing, but for what she did, I generally thought she was sassy. I generally thought that she has that captain, like that captain essence about her.
Yeah, I kind of felt like she was channeling Riker a little bit there. Just the way he interacted with people when he was in command. when he was like stalling for time. I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get this. Yeah, I think she did a good job. I think she was. I don't know that I would necessarily done anything any differently, except like you said, I probably would have jumped out sooner. Uh,
Mm,
I understand why she didn't, but at the same time, um, if they had, if they had jumped, the Emerald Chain ship still would have had to make it through the nebula to get to the planet to do anything to them. And
mm,
I don't. We obviously we don't know how that would have turned out. That's not what happened. So there's it's kind of like real life, like you'd say, oh well, it would have been better if I had gone and done this first instead of going and doing this thing, but that's
mm,
not the decision that you made. So we don't know how they would have fared inside of the nebula instead of
mm,
taking Discovery and flying away with them. Um, I don't know that I like Osira as a character though. Just
mm,
like I don't know if it's the way the actress is performing the character or whether it's the character herself. Um, but she feels like she's trying to be sassy, but not
yeah.
succeeding at it. Because
I
like
think it's more.
the thing at the end, like right before they jumped, she was like, "Oh well, what is it that you guys say when you jump?" And I was like,
Mm,
"Well, how would you really know that they say anything? Like it's just a command. Like that seemed like a meta reference to Saru trying to figure out what his engage was going to be,
mm,
and that kind of felt flat for me.
mm. I mean, I never kind of picked up on that one because I think before Tilly, like, cut off the communications, that she said like she would start saying something like, you know, start, and then cut her off. So she heard that but didn't hear the last part. So I was like, I think she's trying to be more kind of not Osiris. I think she's trying to be either more of a like a dominant character, where she's had to work her way up or
Mm-hmm.
she's taken power. So therefore, she's more like, nothing can hurt me. And I think that's the sort of attitude she's got. Or it would be something like, um, that's her sort of kind of characteristic. Um, I mean, I don't really find her anything. She's going to be next episode probably. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Vaporize me? Yes. There we go. You're gone. That's how I see it. I haven't formed an attachment because either she's going to be the next bad guy for the next season, or they vaporize her in like the next episode or
Right,
so.
right. Well, we know you don't get the next time on Star Trek Discovery stuff, right?
I did have a look at it and I saw two clips and I was just like, I could see this coming. And then I had no problem with the Admiral doing what he was going to do for the next episode. But it did kind of give it away when I was watching it, going like, oh God, why did they have to put this in? Like,
Wait, did,
that
did
should
you
have been
watch
the
did you watch
suspense.
the Ready Room clip or the other one?
I've only seen two on thing. One where the Admiral's talking, and then the other one is the next preview episode.
Okay, so I haven't seen the Admiral talking yet. I didn't watch that.
Oh, okay.
I just watched the next time on Star Trek Discovery where it showed them like trying to take back the ship, and like it showed a
Mm.
conversation with the Admiral, but it didn't actually get into the conversation. What was he saying?
So basically, they spoilers for anyone else who's not seen it. So basically, Discovery is being attacked by Osiris, but attacked, and then the Discovery are hailing them, or the Admiral's watching them, and they're saying like, "Oh, should we let them in? Should we do this?" And the Admiral there going like, give me a minute or something, or not yet. It's something like that to kind of prove it. And then obviously the clip I watched was, oh, he lets them in, and that's pretty much it. So there's not a lot of conversation. They're like talking about that Discovery shouldn't be back. It should be doing this, or it's not a sustained heavy damage or something. And it's basically like a Trojan horse.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I mean, I guess we'll see. Next, we do have. I double checked. There are 2 episodes left, so it's a 13 episode season.
Mm,
Next week's episode is called "There Is a Tide," and then the final episode is called "Outside."
mm,
Um, so I'm not. Those don't really give a whole lot of information. Um, the the title "There Is a Tide" is a line from Julius Caesar by Shakespeare.
mm,
The whole thing is there is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted all the voyages of their life is bound in shadows and miseries. On such a full sea we are now afloat, and we must take the current where it serves, or lose our ventures.
mm.
Originally, this episode was going to be titled "The Good of the People." Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think Nan is coming back though.
Oh,
Uh,
she was on the other ship, wasn't she?
yeah, she had left to stay with the other uh, uh, the seed thing, the
Yeah,
seed vault.
Seed People.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. Donnie Pearson just joined us. Hey, Donnie, how is it going? He says that he considers Book's ship the Astro Megaship of Star Trek.
It's such a good ship. Like it can morph. I'm like awesome, cool. I like that. I like it. Like I like his ship. I just want to see more of it. And also, if they bring out a toy of it, I want it to literally just do what you want with it. You just like turn it and do whatever.
That'd be dope. Now I'm gonna sneeze.
It's spreading.
Ugh, excuse me. Ah, I turned on the my fan a little bit, and like here, like I don't know how it is out by you, but here in the area of LA that I'm in, it's really dusty,
Mm.
and it was raining the other day, so it just like kicked up a lot of stuff. Like I woke up, I guess it was Thursday, and like my eyes were watering like just all day. Like all day, I was just like stop. It's like wiping. It's gross. Uh, but yeah, did anything else stand out to you about this episode? Anything where you were like, oh, this is really cool? The monster. What'd you think about the CGI on the monster?
I thought it was really cool. Like, I would have liked it to have been a monster where you didn't know it was. Because when I first saw it, I was like, that's cool. It's there's the Kelpian who's like a child, and then you got a monster, and that's what I wanted to see. And then when I realized later, it's like, oh, you are the same thing. I was like, oh, but I love the design because it felt very much like Horizon Zero Dawn type of a like it looked like a robot more than like a lion or a beast, and I generally thought, you know what, I like that.
Do you think the monster is actually a hologram, or do you think the monster is the mother mutated by whatever radiation?
Isn't it the child? Because they he turns into it, doesn't he?
That I don't think so. They were saying that the monster is the kid's biggest fear.
I thought like
And that part of his lesson that he was never able to complete was overcoming his fear, which is the monster.
oh, because like when I watched like the clip where they're on the staircase, like he starts running and then turns into the monster and then turns back, and then it is him, and I was like, oh, so the kid's the monster alone. If it's not,
Oh,
then I'm gonna.
I didn't catch that. To me, it looked like he was standing next to it, unless I missed something.
I might have
Now,
to have a look at that later. Um,
now I got to pull that up and look.
Cause I'm sure, because like it felt like she, because you had Michael, she was like, "Calm down, we're here to help you." And then later on, it's like on the staircase. I was like, I'm sure that it's the monster for that one. Like it's the Kelpian that turns into it. So I was more like, okay, that's fine, cool. Let's go with that one.
Huh. Let's see. Okay. I'm loading up the episode now. And I will fast forward to that part. I'll probably make me watch an ad or something.
God, ads.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, other than that, was there anything that stood out that we haven't brought up?
I feel it's the beaming in technology that annoys like the ultimate crap out of me, because you're 900 years in the future, so your transporter technology is meant to be really cool, and that's fine. I understand that,
Right.
but it's so much easier to board a ship. Like, but because the teleport's so quick as well, like when they're on the bridge about to do something, like they beamed in like boom, and you're like, oh crap, I've got no time to react or something. Which anyway, even in Star Trek, like even if they beam him slowly, they're like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Right. Like that's always something that I never understood, because it's like, oh, hey, our ship's being boarded. Look at this thing coming in. I'm just gonna shoot a constant phaser blast at this transporter beam, and when this person fully materializes, they'll be dead.
Yeah, it's like I've got this on kill. I had a panel over there that explodes. That always happens, and we've got replacement glass for it. But it just irritated me, because I think the one thing that scared me in this is when they took over the guy, I can't remember his name, with the spore drive, and he's like, I'm not going to do it, and then he
Stamets.
just put the device in. Yeah, like the fact that they put that on him and he does it exactly. I was like, oh, that is creepy, because that just reminded me of like the next level Borg, and I was just like, no. And it was just the way that he instantly complied. I was like, that's creepy. But then my mind went to the point of, why didn't you just put them all on the crew, and the crew would do the ship straight away? So that there'd be no kind of, we're forcing you to do it.
Right. Right. Okay.
So
Let's see here. I
we've
think.
only got one of these devices.
Yeah. Of course, it's making me watch. Oh, is it making me watch a commercial? No, it's not. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So the kid is on the stairs. He's building the all-seeing eye thing. Let's see. We just cut to Tilly. Now we're back at the stairs again. Oh, it jumped on me. Uh, and Burnham is down there watching him. Let's see. He's putting up a bunch of those. Okay, and the monster is coming down the stairs.
Oh, is
So
it
yeah,
coming downstairs? Okay.
yeah. So the monster's coming down the stairs, and the Sakal is trying to prevent it from going anywhere by putting up that totem.
Mm.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what, like we've got a better look at it here, and it definitely kind of looks like it's a deformed Kelpian, and it attacks him, and that's when he screams and lets out the that burst of energy.
Mm. I feel like it will be something important, like, because each sort of hologram, and that's the one thing that annoyed me, is like every single hologram was looking at the kid, even though he's probably an adult, but treating him like he was 5. And you kind of think that at least somewhere in the programming they would have gone, right, he's of age. Let's not treat him like a child. Let's actually treat him like an adult. And I feel like, I don't know why they've gone down that road,
Yeah,
where I think you would have had much more of a better response if he was a dick. Like, just pure, like, this is my ship, this is my world. I can do what I want. I have this power, and not be like, I like coloring in a book. You're like, oh god, oh god.
yeah. Like that's. I understand why they were going for that, but I feel like if he had been left alone since he was a kid and didn't have the other holograms there to talk to, that would have made sense. But I don't understand why the holograms wouldn't have, like, generally raised the way that they interacted with him as he got older, instead of treating him like a kid the entire time. Just slowly started treating him like an adult.
The plot twist: he is actually a proper adult, and he programmed the holograms to treat him like a kid, and that's what he likes. And he's like, all right guys, I've had enough of this. I'm now going to be an adult. I wanted to do this for like 100 years to see if it would annoy me, but it didn't, and I'm now an adult. And like,
But now I
nice.
also want to know how old Kelpians live.
I reckon they live for. I reckon they're probably like Vulcans or something. Like maybe live for like 900 years or something. Because
We don't know how old Saru is, right?
no, they've not pulled the prank yet where they pull out the multiple birthday cakes. Like that styrofoam birthday cake on Voyager. Used in everything. That icing is galaxy class.
Let me see if there's any information on here. Okay, pulling up Kelpians on Memory Alpha. Let's see. At some point in their life cycle, Kelpians would undergo a physiological process called the Varhai. We know about that. It doesn't say where in their life cycle it is, so we don't know how old they would be when that happens. There's nothing here that really gives us any idea of how old they can be.
Mm.
So I don't know.
I'm gonna say they probably last for like 1,000 years or something.
That'd be interesting. Baul were the race that built the all-seeing eyes.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't see anything here about ages. It was just that they never lived long enough to get to the Varahai, because the Baul would call them before that.
But if they lock themselves in the room, they're absolutely fine.
Right? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So let's move on to ratings. What would you give this episode?
I would give it. I'm gonna say a 4 and 5 holograms.
That is
So a
a
4 basically.
4.5. If it shows up. Let's see.
What are you gonna give
for
it?
some reason here? Let's see. Maybe I moved it off the screen before when it was being a pain in the ass. Yeah, I don't know. While that's trying to figure it out, I'd give it a 4. I overall I thought the episode. There we go. Overall, I thought the episode was good. But I had issues with the pacing of it. I felt like we could have spent a little bit more time figuring out what was going on the planet, and I want to know more about how the kid is caused the burn. Like what like if like you said, if we find out next week, I'll be fine. And it'll be acceptable. But if they just leave it to, it's a mutation caused by the radiation between subspace and the planet and the nebula, then I'm gonna be like, it's just gonna be a hard eye roll. It's just gonna be like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like you go, it's BS, and you goddamn know it. Lazy, sloppy writing.
I don't know.
Have you noticed that with anything in Discovery, like the second the ship is in basic combat formation, they don't do anything. They just literally just like, well, we're going to use the spore drive and disappear. Like, I would have loved to have seen Discovery take a shot at the Osiris's ship. Just like a minute worth of space battle footage. Not, I'm going to have a go at you over the course of a view screen.
Right? Yeah, because I mean, they could have shot in a random direction and probably hit the ship.
Yeah.
Even though, or like as soon as they were decloaked, I was like, why didn't you put shields up?
Yeah. Well, they all were saying like, "Oh, the shields are down." It's like, oh god, you can take
How
over any
convenient.
stuff. Yeah, it's going to take at least 30 minutes. You've got 10. No, that's not how this works, Tilly. It's not a miracle maker.
She was using Scotty's reasoning. How if it's gonna take half an hour, you tell them that it's gonna take 3 hours to give yourself some buffer time.
Goddamn buffer time. I just wanted some space battle. That's why we're not next episode where we're going to get like a 2 minute of Discovery cheesing it. I
Yeah.
want to see a proper.
I'm sure that probably the finale, we're probably gonna get, because we're building up to a battle between the Federation and the Emerald Chain. So I think it's gonna happen. I just don't know whether it's going to be closer to the end of next week's episode or in the season finale.
Just want one episode of every single ship just firing and just going, do you know what? It's fine. I just want to see this. I don't care about Tilly giving some sass. Just give me some space battles. That's all I want to see. Space battles.
Do you think when Adira gets down to the planet, she's actually going to be able to give them the medication that she brought down with her? Or do you think she's not going to be able to find it either because the holograms cover all that shit up?
I reckon it'll be like, where is it? And it'll be like on her body and be like, well, I can't find it.
Or did she put it into her mouth? Did she take the medication, or was she hiding the medication in her mouth?
I don't know. I think I do remember her just going like that. So maybe she's holding it so she knows that if she goes there. But then wouldn't it just disappear? She went, oh, it's not in my mouth. I didn't swallow
But also,
it.
how would she know that it disappeared? That they couldn't see what they looked like on the like that their appearances had changed and all of their clothing wasn't there.
I'm going to put it down to sloppy writing.
But then that's my other thing is like how did the holograms change Saru into a human? He's clearly taller and his feet don't work. So like even if they had made his feet look like human feet, they wouldn't work the same way. Because he would still need to walk like a Kelpian walks.
Yeah. The way that I saw it was that they asked him a question and I made a joke and it was something like so how do you look? And I literally went, yeah, like better without all that makeup on. And I just like much lighter than I was like, oh, I just want that line somewhere like comedy in it. How do you look through? Oh, I look fine. No, give me some banter. Give me some top quality banter.
Yeah, did we see him walking outside of that first shot? Did we actually see him like walking around?
Yeah, you see him walking across the bridge, and his arms sway like that.
Right.
So he walks normal. I kind of thought I didn't really kind of pick up because I thought because they're all walking as normal, I didn't realize he walked differently. But I know I noticed his arms swaying, and I was like, why is he walking like Slender Man? Like, why would he walk like that?
I was like, wait, because that's how he walks.
Yeah, and I was just like,
that was something that I didn't really think about that until just now. I was like, wait. Were his arms moving in the weird Kelpian way? Because it wouldn't make sense for them not to.
I generally thought that because they're really long. I was like, dear God, I literally want him just to slap his arm like that, just slap someone around the head. I'd be like, oh, that'd be so funny. But yeah, he walked weirdly, which I thought was fine to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it for this episode. What do you got coming up this week? What are you working on? What are you doing?
I'm watching some anime at the moment, which I haven't watched quite a bit. I have about 14 videos coming out, and more. It's literally stuff that I've completely I haven't missed, but it's like Zenkanger, Power Ranger news, loads of random things that are coming up. I'm gonna have to figure out a thing for Twitch because I haven't done that for a week. It's going to be a fun week, and then more Final Fantasy VII release dates. I'm almost up to part 100.
What do I have coming up? Tomorrow night we've got the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order at 8:00. Later on tonight, you'll be asleep, but we're doing a for our writers and some of the crew and the rest of the Illuminerdi people behind the scenes. We're doing like a watch along for Wonder Woman 84.
That's nice.
That'll be fun. And I'll probably be playing some more Cyberpunk this week. I'm writing like I took on like a really big writing it's not really a writing project, but before Christmas it was going to be a holiday shopping guide type thing, which was just like, because you see on websites they put out like, here's the top 10 geeky toys that you should buy for your geeky friends for the holidays, or blah 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 blah, whatever. So I was gonna do something like that. It was just gonna be a list of a bunch of things that it's like, hey, here's a bunch of really cool shit that I want people to buy for me. Here it is with links to Amazon and where you can buy it, and affiliate links so that we can make some money off of it too if anyone actually decided to buy me any of that stuff. But now it's just turned into this long list of stuff. So like I got to finish that. I want to put it out. I want to try and get it out before New Year's, so that now it's like a, hey, you got all of this money for Christmas and Hanukkah, maybe, probably, who knows, because it's 2020. But if you don't know what to do with your money, you want to buy some cool shit, here's stuff for you to buy.
You need to put in Neelix's cookbook.
Is that something that you can buy?
Yes,
Because
yes,
I do have I've got, like, I plotted it out already. So like the document I have is like, okay, here's clothing. So here's like some geeky shirts and some hoodies and jackets and that kind of stuff. Tech stuff. So like I've got this mic on here because it's a cool mic, and just like some other like just tech stuff that I like. But then I've got like Star Trek collectibles. I've got like spaces. I've got, okay, Star Trek collectible 1, Star Trek collectible 2, Star Trek collectible 3, because there's so much shit out there that I haven't been able to decide what I actually wanted to put up there yet. But yeah, I will definitely find Neelix's cookbook and put that on there.
Yeah. I really want to know if it's written in the style of Neelix. Like I saw it when it first came out, and I was like, this would be really cool if it's in the Neelix. You're reading Neelix's stuff. I would be like, that's really cool. It's like the Bro Code. Like, that's written in the style of Barney Stinson. Like,
Right.
I wanted them to make the housemate agreement by Sheldon, and I like written by it. And I don't know, these
like
are
an
the things
actual
that I
legal
would buy.
document that you could just pick up in a manila folder,
Yeah,
binder
but
clip.
yeah, it would say at the beginning, like, this isn't a legal binding, but if you want to, here are these places that you can get it done, and it would be official stuff.
That'd be really funny.
These are things that I would love to buy.
I
So
I wanted to do, because like cooking is a big thing with streamers now, and something that I've always thought would be fun. No one fucking steal us or I'll kill you. You buying some of these genre cookbooks, so like Neelix's cookbook, and then going through and doing the recipes on a stream, just being like cooking the stuff and then seeing how it came out. There's a celebrity cookbook person, Justin Warner, who he wrote like a superhero style cookbook. So it's like just foods that are based off of Marvel and DC and all these other things. I'm like, I should
cool.
buy this and see what I can do with it. So I don't know. I actually have a decent sized kitchen, so so maybe it'll be something I do eventually.
I do it. Like, as much as I goddamn freaking hate Neelix, if you could make some sort of really cool dish that is something inspired by the show, I'd be like, fair dues. They wrote it really well. Just not, I'm making an omelet. Be like, we all know how to make an omelet. Give it some space name like Talaxian spiced omelet.
Let me see. Star Trek cookbook. So, Ethan Phillips actually wrote it.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I was thinking, is this written in the style of Neelix? Like,
wow, it came out in 1999.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. The description for it is there one food that humans, Klingons, Bajorans, and Vulcans would like? If so, what would it taste like? How would you prepare it? Could you find all the ingredients locally? This is the task that faces Neelix, chef for USS Voyager. Every time he takes on the challenge of trying to feed his crew of 140 food critics, but over the course of their journey, Neelix has learned a few... read more. Tricks of the trade. He had to, just as a matter of self-preservation. Ethan Phillips in the persona of Neelix, and William J. Burns, the New York Times best-selling co-author of The Day After Roswell, throw wide the vaults of interstellar hot cuisine, revealing for the first time the secret preparation techniques behind all those exotic dishes and drinks. The favorite foods of characters from several classic Star Trek series and movies are here, all adapted for easy use in 21st century kitchens.
I really wish that was written at the time of Seven of Nine was on things. I don't know whereabouts it is because I'd love to have like replica supplement 38 Delta. It's just a protein shake.
There's a few different cookbooks here. So there's the Star Trek cookbook by Ethan Phillips, Star Trek cocktails, and Star Trek food recipes from the Replicator, the most delicious dishes from Star Trek series.
Oh, the replicator one.
Let's see.
Sounds
This one is it's free if you have Kindle Unlimited, or it's $10 in paperback. This one actually just came out this year.
There's one here called
Huh.
Keeping Up with the Cardassians.
Nice. Have you seen on Twitter? There is a guy who tweets as Gul Dukat, but
Yes.
he copies he recreates Trump tweets as if it was Gul Dukat. It is one of the
Yep.
best things I've seen online. It is really good. Yeah, I'll have to. I might have to buy these books. Like this
Is it
might
all
be a
on
thing. Let's see. The Star Trek TV series you get recipes for is Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. If Enterprise, this thing has got to be older than this year. Like even the cover looks older than this year. Let me see if it says inside. I don't know. Let's see. Star Trek food recipes from the Replicator. Let me Google that shit. I gotta find that out.
Yeah, the paper. What is the?
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Goodreads. So this should have the actual release date. Oh, go away. Oh no, this is new. Published April 13th, 2020. The cover of the book makes it look kind of old, but I guess it's not. That's kind of cool. It's like $4 for the Kindle edition or $10 for the paperback.
See, these cookbooks are an awesome idea because, like, again, it's like they've not been done. Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I can see the one from the Replicators. Like, there's Intergalactic. I think if the Replicator one is, I think that's one I'm gonna buy. Food from the Replicator and then Intergalactic. Yeah. Oh, these are all kind of cool. Like, definitely stuff where it's going to be thing like, oh, this is what Neelix's stew tastes like. I actually knew it tasted like crap tonight. Crap in the series, crap now.
Yeah, we'll have to check these out. But I am actually getting called away to work on some other things for the website. So I think this is probably a good place to end. But yeah, so both of us, for the most part, enjoyed the episode a little bit outside of some weird things here and there. I'll see about getting that cookbook, and you can find us here on social media. But until next week, live long, prosper, happy New Year's, all that jazz. We'll see you later.
Bye.